I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, it's complicated. Well, I've got two emails that I'm going to go through with you today. But before we get into the first one, I've got a quote that I wrote on this topic, a little piece of wisdom I'd like to share with you that'll hopefully be helpful if you apply it. And it says, life is supposed to be easy and effortless. When you are living from your heart, working at a mission and purpose that you feel you are destined for, and do not get attached to the people and circumstances who come and go in your life, only then do you align with and allow the universe to effortlessly meet your intentions, dreams, goals, and wishes. The only reason life becomes a struggle is because of the meanings that we give to the circumstances of our lives and the unhealthy attachments that we develop with things that are always changing. The only constant in life is change. Learn to go with the flow and allow life's circumstances to unfold and people to come and go. The right ones will stay willingly. The wrong ones will blow through your life like the wind. Never become attached to time frames. Always be taking action towards what you want, learning from your mistakes, refining your approach, and never settle for anything that is less than what you really want. All great things take time. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first guy's email. He says, hey, Coach Wayne, I was in a relationship since April of 2014, and last week she finally ended things with me, which was August 9th. From mid-July to our breakup, she became more distant, needed space, and I pursued. In other words, she felt like she was being smothered. The real issue here is she was feeling like she was losing her freedom by being with you. And there is a quote that I share all the time. I think it's Thich Nhat Hanh. I can never say his name. But it says, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Both men and women have to give each other space to live their lives independently of one another, so they can really enjoy the time that they are together. Because I talk to a lot of guys and a lot of girls who have been in relationships for a long period of time, and what typically happens is both people stop being the interesting, fun, exciting, in-shape, healthy people that they once were when they met. All that shit goes by the wayside. Their hobbies go by the wayside, their friends go by the wayside, they don't date each other, they don't court each other, they let themselves go physically, and just things kind of spiral out of control. During that time, when she said she needed space, she would text me every day, and I would get upset because she would need space. Think about it. She's reaching out, and then you're getting pissed because she's not meeting your expectations. Whatever you're doing and saying with the women you're interacting with, that is what they're going to associate with you. So if she reaches out, and you're getting pissed at her, she's associating negative things with interacting with you. That's going to cause her to not want to interact with you as much and keep her distance, which she's obviously doing through the text and through the phone and email. He says, yet she would continue to contact me multiple times per day and wouldn't see me. See, that's part of the whole idea, is that the phone is for setting dates. It's for making appointments. If you're in sales and you just constantly chit-chat back and forth with people, but you never get them to come into your dealership or your place of business, or you never get together in person, you're not going to have very many sales. That's 101 in sales. Get them into your location of business or to your office, or go to them, i.e. set a date. Because otherwise you just kind of become the emotional tampon. And especially if a woman is pushing you away and she's got other options. Because you got to remember, women are never out of the game. Even when they're in a relationship or they're married, they're always getting hit on. And the prettier the girl is, she's constantly getting hit on by other guys. That's one thing to keep in mind. And so what happens is you're being an ass to her on the phone or even in person, and you're causing her to develop negative associations with you. And guys are always hitting on her all the time, and she can string you along as like the backup until things progress with one of the other dudes that she may be interacting with, who knows more about women and how to treat them than you do. He says, I told her she would say one thing and do another. She would get upset if I didn't contact her back or took time to get back to her. I continued to try to see her, and she would avoid seeing me. She reaches out, you just say, hey, I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? She goes, oh, I don't know, but I just wanted to chit-chat. You're like, hey, I'm real jammed up right now, but check your schedule, and when you got an opening or you can figure out some time to get together, get back to me, and we'll plan something in. I gotta run, babe. Talk to you later. That's part of standing up for yourself. But instead you figure, oh, well, I'm at least talking to her on the phone. We're at least emailing. We're Snapchatting with one another. We're Facebook messaging. But the bottom line is, if you're not getting together in person, you don't have nothing. You're just a backup. You're the emotional tampon on the other end of the digital line. He says, I pushed to see her and said that I thought we had a relationship in future. Again, saying things like that and focusing on things like that, locking her down to a commitment, is just going to make her feel like she's losing her freedom by interacting with you. And therefore, she doesn't want to get together with you in person because you're going to be focused on that relationship thing, and you're probably going to want or demand sex from her. So therefore, she keeps you at arm's length. She has 2 kids, and early in July, her house went through a disaster where she almost had to move. Initially, I helped her with the house, but then she didn't want me around anymore. Were you a little too neurotic, a little too demanding, expecting, hey, I helped you in your house, now can we have sex? I was very available because I saw she was in distress. She told me all the stuff in her life is why she couldn't see me. Kids, house, new boss, excuses. Yeah, it's all bullshit. The bottom line, the real reason why she didn't want to see you is her attraction level had dropped. You had turned her off and you made her feel like she was losing her freedom. But hey, you're pretty handy to have around, and you'll come over and fix things from time to time. So it's like she knows how to just give you enough to keep you on the hook and think, hey, this is going to work out finally. He says, finally we spoke on August 8th and discussed trying out dating again. Before that, she said she was my girlfriend and she loves me. We decided to have dinner late Saturday, August 9th. She then called me on Saturday and told me she didn't have a relationship in her. Ooh. It's not what you wanted to hear. In other words, I need space, I need time, this feels like a relationship, I feel like I'm losing my freedom. They're not going to come right out and say I feel like I'm losing my freedom, but that's what's really going on, because you're smothering her. You're trying to control the situation, you're trying to force yourself into her life physically, instead of just waiting to hear from her and making dates when you do. And you only ask on 2 separate occasions, and when she shoots you down 2 times in a row, you stop asking. And then after that, every time after that, she gets in touch with you, no more than 2 to 3 texts back and forth. And if she calls you, no more than 2 to 3 minutes. And then you got to go, hey, babe, it's great hearing from you, but I got to run. Keep in touch. 1 or 2 things will happen. She'll either stop calling you, or she'll say, hey, I want to see you. When are you free to get together? Hey, we should get together sometime. Hey, we should meet up for drinks. Hey, I'd love to come by and check out your new place. That's what'll happen. When you keep asking and she keeps going, no, no, no. Hey, if she doesn't value your time, you're attached to things being different than they are. And therefore you keep trying to force it. That's why you're not getting anywhere. It's like you're like trying to swim upstream instead of just going with the flow. She calls you, she reaches out, assumes she wants to see you, try to make dates. She says no. Okay, well, give me a call when you figure out your schedule. Then you just go about your business. Like I said, 2 different occasions, she shoots you down both times, stop asking. And she asked if I would be okay being friends. That sounds like about as much fun as watching paint dry. I responded that the relationship was stressing me out and her out, and that we needed to get rid of that aspect and reset. Now listen to her response. She was relieved and told me that she loves me. In other words, you just basically communicated without saying it directly, I am loving you in such a way that you feel free. And she's like, finally, I can come and go without feeling like I have to always be at his beck and call, or always have to see him, or always have to have sex with him. He says, I responded in kind. She texted me the next day and told me that her dad had some issues, and I told her that I was there for her if she needed anything. He puts 2 available in parentheses. I'm happy to be your emotional tampon, sweetheart. What you should have said was, you know what, let's get together and talk about it over dinner. That sounds, I'd love to see you. She texted me later that Sunday night and asked me about the meteor shower. I replied what I knew. That Tuesday I texted her about that the meteor shower was happening and she responded excitedly. The next time she texted me was on Saturday, wishing me a great time at a concert we were supposed to go to together. She instead went on a trip with her family. That's not exciting. So all this chit-chatting is going on, but no dates are being made. I responded, thanks, should be if the weather holds, enjoy your trip. The next day, Sunday, I texted her a couple pics from the concert, which was the sunset and the band. I would have texted her anything, dude. Remember, she's blowing you off. Hey, I'm busy. I'm not going to go to the concert with you. I'm going to go on vacation with my family. Talk to the hand because the face ain't listening. We exchanged 2 to 3 friendly texts about the concert. Friendly being the key word. Friends only. Friend zone. Bottom line, I want her back. I screwed up. I was too available and didn't value my own time. Well, if you really value your time, dude, you stop being the digital emotional tampon on the other line. You'd make dates. And if she didn't want to make a date, you'd withdraw the offer and say, give me a call when you figure out your schedule. You'd only ask her on 2 separate occasions. And after that, that's it. Don't ever call or text this girl again. There's no reason, dude. She's totally pushed you away, but she knows that she's got you on the hook. She like dangles a carrot, you grab it, and then she just lets go of the line. He says, I have a soft spot when she was in distress. In other words, I like being her manservant. I like fixing her sink when it's clogged up. I moved to this area in March, right before I met her, and I don't really know a lot of people. In other words, you made her the center of your life. You became needy, acted desperate, and that's why you're stuck in friend zone with 2 giant bowling balls because your blue ball case is so bad. My plan is to allow her to contact me next and not to pursue her. Maybe in 2 weeks I will want to check in with her. You must resist that urge, Padawan. Do not call her, do not text this woman ever again. When she reaches out next, assume she wants to see you and make a date. If she says, no, I can't, but I'd like to chit-chat, just say, oh, I'm really jammed up right now, but I would definitely love to get together for dinner and catch up. So check your schedule, and when you figure that out, get in touch with me. Say she gets in touch with you the next day or whatever. Hey, so what'd you figure out in your schedule? When are you free to get together? And she goes, oh, I don't know, but I really wanted to chat. Oh, I'm really jammed up right now, sorry. But figure out your schedule and get back to me. We'll plan something in. And then never bring it up after that. She reaches out, hey, how are you? What's going on? Oh, great to hear from you, but I'm really jammed up. Gotta run, keep in touch. Can't talk. That's what you're going to give her from that point forward. Because a man who loves and values his time and what he wants is not going to tolerate this. You want to hang out, have fun, and hook up with this girl. And she's just basically using you as backup. That is swimming upstream. That is not going with the flow. That is actually swimming against the current, and you're just wearing yourself out and frustrating the hell out of yourself. So do what I was sharing with you, and things will get a lot easier. She'll either make a date, or she'll blow through your life like the wind, like I shared in the quote. Bottom line, you should be reading my book 10 to 15 times and meeting new ladies, because don't sit around and wait on this girl. Get your ass out there and start living your life, dude. So let's get into the second guy's email. He says, hey, Coach Corey, I found your work at just the right time. I purchased your book, and I'm a third of the way through it in a day. That's impressive, dude. You're dedicated. That's what it takes. You got to learn the fundamentals. And for those of you watching this that haven't got my book yet, you can download the Kindle version under 60 seconds, or you can get a paperback version. On my website, underneath the email sign-up box, there is an image of my book. You click on that, it'll take you right to Amazon.com. You can either download the Kindle version or you can select the paperback version. But get the book. Learn the fundamentals of what I talk about in these videos. Read it 10 to 15 times. That's what it takes. The book's like, I think, 270 pages. You got to learn the basics. If you're not, it's like tying your shoelaces together and then trying to run a marathon. That ain't going to end so well. He says, you present the clearest version of this information, in my opinion, as I have researched many other dating advice groups. Well, I am a life coach, and I also have a specialty in dating, pickup, and relationships. But I'm all about helping you be a well-rounded human being and individual. Focus on your health, your body, your career, your friendships, your relationships, doing work that you feel like is great work, as Steve Jobs once put it. Cutting to the chase, I upgraded my career to a new environment as a manager of a startup laboratory in the dental field. The doc is a young guy and the whole clinical staff is girls. I like those odds. One of them is in my age group, early 30s. She has 2 kids and was in the process of getting divorced after 10 years. You want somebody who's single and available and ready to date, not somebody that's kind of divorced, kind of half in, half out, may get back together with their significant other. That's a messy situation. That is going against, that's not going with the flow, that's going against the flow. That is just going to create frustration and difficulty. He says, I'm 5'5", pretty attractive, fit, intelligent, but I have always been a little different, he puts in parentheses, which is a quality I embrace. Everyone was making hints that her and I should start dating, but although she is cute, I wasn't outright attracted to her because she is the clinical coordinator and a little too masculine acting for my taste. I know, I love really feminine women. And I came from a horrible previous work situation where many people were sabotaged, etc. So needless to say, I was a little edgy starting a new career where I'm building a lab where I came from an established lab and had the credentials to do so. 3 weeks after I started, they fired the girl who did the part-time work before me, so I felt there was a little bit resentment from some of the other women in the office. Long story short, I've come to find that this girl is very intelligent, sweet, and only 4'11", which is why I could see that the doctor and a few of the girls dropping hints. Hey, sounds like a date. Do you miss your girlfriend? So in other words, everybody in the office wants you to go out with this girl. He says, I eventually cautiously, mistake I know, asked her to get together outside of work. She said she's separated and not divorced yet, so it's complicated. He says, but I could tell she was into me early on. Well, if she's really into you, then say, you know what? I appreciate your honesty and the fact that you're still trying to resolve your situation. So when you get that all resolved, let me know. I'd love to get together, go have dinner, have a drink sometime. And then other than that, you just don't need to bring it up again. He says, now, and that's why you should be dating other women. She's not really a possibility yet. And she also may be just telling you this because she's not really interested in you. But you got to look at that, because to sit and hover around, okay, I'm going to wait until she resolves this divorce situation. If she's just telling you that to let you down easy, and then you wait around for several months by becoming attached to her, which is not what you're supposed to do. If you become attached to her, now you're putting your personal life on hold. Now you've taken yourself out of the game. And like I said earlier in the video, women are never out of the game. They're always getting hit on, even when they're in a relationship. So he says, now this clique of girls, there's one of them 6'2", and she's a bitch. And another one is 6'1", she's very nice, but she can be a bitch. All women can be a bitch if they want to. But if you know how to treat them, you'll keep that storm under control, and they'll always be sweet and loving and kind. And a few other clueless bimbos, I think, view me as weak. Well, what have you done to make yourself appear weak? That tells me you should have some other options. You should be going out on dates, and when you come in on Monday and the girls are like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I had a fucking great date. I got laid. It was awesome. I'm like, oh, really? Like, hey, so-and-so got laid. Did you hear? That'll spread like fucking wildfire in the office. Girls love to gossip, especially in an office together. Oh, so I heard you had a date this weekend and you got laid. What? I don't know. Gentlemen, don't kiss and tell. I don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't be listening to those little birds in the office. Why? Are you jealous? Were you thinking about asking me out? That's how you should respond to that. But go out and live your life, dude. Go out and have a great time. Hey, what'd you do this week? Oh, I fucking partied like a rock star. I met this really cool woman. Oh, we had such a connection. Really tell me about her. It's like, gentlemen don't kiss and tell, ladies. You should know better than that. How many times have you gone out with a guy and he blabbed to all of his friends about you? Do you like that? And they'll all go, no. And you go, of course not. That's why my lips are sealed. How about them Red Sox? Change the subject. He says, this is not the case. It's a matter of logistics, I feel. I'd be cool with something happening with this girl, but I'm sure it's too late, and I naturally ended the conversation earlier, but they still make comments about us dating. It's like if the workplace had just let me use my natural game, which was learned but works. In other words, I take a really long time to ask a woman out, and then once I work up the nerve, she's pretty much already given up on me by then. Then maybe we could have had something if it would have happened or not, but it's like the workplace took the approach out of my hands and made it awkward from the start. I'll be booking a phone and Skype coaching session with you this week, and I look forward to gaining some insight. Well, cool. Well, I'll look forward to that. But at the end of the day, dude, it doesn't really matter. Bottom line is this. Attraction is not a choice. If she really was digging you, unless you did a lot of things that made yourself look weak, it wouldn't have mattered that everybody was trying to set you up with this particular woman. But like I said, you should assume that she's just not interested and just move on with your life. And if the girls bring it up, just say, hey, you know what? She's not. Whenever she resolves her situation, I'm happy to go out with her. But you know what? She's in the middle of divorce and she's just not in a place. And I'd rather not get involved with somebody that's going through that anyways. I'd rather it be a clean thing where she's like, great, my divorce is finalized. I'm ready to rock out with, well, obviously a woman's not going to say rock out with my cock out, but I'm ready to party like a rock star. Something along those lines. And then that's all. You don't even have to speak to her directly. If the girl's bringing, so have you asked out so-and-so? It's like, yeah, we talked about it, but hey, she's in the middle of a divorce. It's not really a done deal yet. So I just would personally rather date somebody who has all that stuff taken care of. She's a great girl. Maybe someday, I'll be single, she'll be single, and we can explore that possibility. But until then, let's have a great time today. Let's talk about something else, ladies. By the way, I went on a really great date this weekend. It was awesome. Say something along those lines. But go live a great social life. Enjoy your life. Apply the things that you're reading in my book. I think you said you're only a third of the way through it. But get out there, start hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. Because when you walk in with a big smile on your face on Monday morning, you'll be like, oh, somebody looks like they had a good weekend. Like, it was. Well, tell me about it. It's like, gentlemen, don't kiss and tell. You don't have to say nothing. Even if you just went out with your buddies and got hammered and had a great time, maybe got a few phone numbers, just say, ladies, now come on. Gentlemen, don't kiss and tell. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you all. And I really like you guys, so my lips are sealed. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone coaching session or email coaching or Skype coaching. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.